Yeah, so this is my first live on this channel. They came, they captured, they conquered, and they left. This is what happened in Caracas. Now, we all know that US is fighting oil wars for almost 20 years, and US wants to capture oil, but all this is not a joke. There are some deep reasons behind it. If you see, so for example, people were saying that Venezuela has largest number, highest amount of oil reserves in the world. So if I go for oil reserves in the world, so we have almost 1.7 trillion barrels, out of which 303. So almost 18% to somewhere around 16 to 20% oil is in Venezuela. So this is the list of proven oil reserves. If you see Saudi, 267 billion oil barrels, and Venezuela 303. And then of course you have Iran, Iraq. Now this is the number that is very important. Year of production reserve. So if Saudi keeps on pumping the oil the way they are doing it, in 81 years, their complete oil will finish. Now, people always talk about the reserves, but who is actually producing the oil? So if you see this number, I know this is Wikipedia, not the most reliable source, but still, this is a good enough place to start with. So United States is producing 13 billion barrels of oil per day. Saudi is 10 billion barrels. Russia is 10 billion barrels. And so these three countries are producing almost how much? If you add all this, so it's 82 billion barrels, out of which almost 33. So almost 40% of the oil is produced by these three countries. Now this is a very important number. You can see if the Russia keeps on producing the oil same way, they will finish their oil in 22 years. So this is the answer why US is going crazy for the oil. The reason is this. So if you go and do a simple Google search, how much oil is, let's start with how much oil reserves the world have. So they have 1.5 to 1.7 trillion barrels. Let's consider 1.7 trillion barrels or 1700 billion barrels. And then if you search for how much oil was consumed in 2023, let's take an idea, whole year. So it seems like the oil consumption is roughly stable, because I know is still 100 million barrels a day. So 365, so 36.5 billion barrels. I don't know why they can't do a simple math, because how much oil is produced in 2025 whole year? Let's ask the same question chat GPT, and I will also ask probably Claude if it's GPT can't answer it. 105. So it's increasing, it's not going down, right? And I'm sure that, so 38.69 billion barrels a day. And if you consider 2023, it was around 36.5. So it's increasing. Now, if you remember how much were the total global oil reserves. So total global oil reserves verified, right? This is very important. So 1773 billion barrels. So if I divide 1773 by 38.5, and let's consider the um, increasing demand for the crude oil. Why? Because there is a lot of demand in the aviation. So if I divide it by 40 or 39.5, in 44 years we will finish the oil. We will not have crude oil left in 44 years. How? So does it mean, let's ask that ChatGPT, that we will consume all this verified reserve in almost 45 years? Yes, right? I love ChatGPT. Simple math. So now this is where the bigger answer is. Yes, it's not. Proven reserve increases when oil price. This is not very important. EVs, I don't know. Trump is confused about EV. He sometimes want EV, sometimes he does not want EV. Yes, I so at today's technology and prices and demand, we have 45 years of oil left. But this is important. When we had oil shock in 1980s, we also had 30, 40 years of oil there, and then we found oil more oil in Gulf. We found oil in Russia that helped a lot, and then people also found fracking. So the consumption. So mathematically, yes, 45 years. Now there is a limit to how much oil can be discovered. In 1980, we know that lot of oil is there. We are not going. We don't have it now, but we are going to discover that. And even now, why Trump is going crazy for Greenland? He wants Greenland to secure it. He already has forces in Greenland. They have NATO forces in Greenland. It's not about the security. It's again about the oil. Because the whole Arctic Circle is going to have uh, this is expected going to have lot of oil. If I What are the most likely places to have more oil. Unproven reserves. Let's just. So Saudi, Iraq, UAE, and then the second place is Arctic region. So this is where Russia and Greenland. See, so this is why he is going crazy for Greenland. It's not there is a reason they're going crazy for the oil. It's not a coincidence that from the last 20 years there is war, one war after another, just for the oil. And if you see Libya, oil-rich country, Iraq, oil-rich country, Syria produces lot more oil than it needs. Uh, Iran, a very oil-rich country, Venezuela, oil-rich country, and Somalia is a very important place in terms of securing the Red Sea and Suez Canal route. So oil is very important, and as it seems like, and I will appreciate Trump that he is very much open about it. But means of course it's not a great thing, but he is very much open about it. That it's all about the oil, and Europe and India and even China are pushing for green energy. And US just wants to keep using the oil because this is how they can save their dollar hegemon. So this is where we are, and this is why US wants oil. It's not a it's not a coincidence that US wants more and more oil because it's all about saving the dollar. And if world moves towards renewables, and which is very much required, and solar is very much powerful to do that. Like in India, I think Jaisalmer can take care of if we put solar panels across Jaisalmer. It will take care of almost complete, uh, if not complete, like 60% of electricity requirements for northern India. Let's ask ChatGPT how much. What is the area of? Let's see if it's screen is shared. Yeah, area of Jaisalmer. 38,000, right? So, how much solar energy can be produced in 38,000? Now, this is a hypothetical experiment. I'm not saying that put everything in one place, but third digit in India is more than 100,000 square kilometers, 1 lakh square kilometers. So, how much solar energy can be produced in 38,000 square kilometers? If you use let's 80% of the area as solar panels, right? 80% of the Jaisalmer is empty. So let's yeah. So 1368 gigawatt per day. That is a peak capacity. In 13, we install power plants for 5 gigawatt. Like that is usually what we do. And if you see the India comparison, total electricity. So in India, it was total 1800 thetawatt. This is 1130. So the current Indian consumption can be taken care by easily. So if you consider this, and how much it would cost. Okay, okay, $200,000, $958 billion. Okay, so long distance transmission will be an issue. Maybe mounting inverters, civil. So it's more like, but we can do it in every state. So let's say, and probably like we can power only neighboring states of Rajasthan. Let's say UP, MP, Haryana, Punjab. So 1.4 trillion important 65 there. So point 2 cents. 2 cents is not even 2 rupees per kilowatt. On an average, you pay 4 to 5 rupees per kilowatt. It's half of the price. Okay, so what if we do it in every state? That will reduce cost of transmission and loss, right? Yes, yes, I know. So reduce transmission cost by 30 to 50%. Yeah. So even at 1500 kilometers, you are not going to lose more than 1%. And of course, you don't have centralized power grid. So let's suppose if some country attacks you tomorrow. Let's suppose we have a very friendly neighbor in our western border. Let's suppose they attack us, and if they want to destroy our power grid, they simply can't because it's at 28 different places. And then of course there can be some coverage in between two if there's one is off other is on. Only 2 to 4% loss is statewide, yeah. Okay, so they are already Rajasthan plus Gujarat still lead. Yeah, all of South India, like all can do it. Like like suppose how much area is required to power Kerala. So now why I'm doing all this exercise? 476 square kilometers, right? And we have sea, like we have lot of sea, you know. We can just keep it on the seashore, probably like uh, on the beaches, or if you are worried about tsunami, you can keep it like 476 square kilometers is nothing. 1% of the land area of the Kerala. 1%. 1% is, what can I say? Is like, I think you have enough empty land in Kerala. And let's suppose if you talk about Karnataka, it will not be even 1%. Karnataka is a huge state. Maharashtra, huge state. Vidarbha, people are worried about water shortage. Let's install solar panels where people are worried about water shortage. They will get jobs. And once you have solar panels, they will be able to use it in their field. They will be able to pull, uh, means you can refine even the seawater. For example, Israel uses lot of seawater, and then they filter out the salt, saline water, and make it a fresh water. And this is how Israel, which was 70% desert, today is less than 40%. So this is how they have transformed. If you talk about, so this is my point. It's not like that we cannot live without the oil. We can happily live without the oil. But if people start living without oil, the whole central control will finish. Like there will be no control. There will be no dollar. There will be no America. There will be no central power. So this is what it's all about. Dollar and oil. Oil is just a medium to keep everyone in check. Thank you, everyone.